morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this week's Team Talk Thursday with Team Advantage RE/MAX Bakken Realty. Today, we're joined by Daniel Stenberg, who is going to talk to us about the McKenzie County JDA subsidy program. Right now, I'm going to let Brandy, our moderator, take it away.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Daniel, for joining us. We're really excited to learn more about the JDA subsidy program. So let's just start with who you are and your role in the county. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Daniel Stenberg. I am the Economic Development Coordinator for McKenzie County. I grew up in the area when it was a smaller community, and now it's grown quite a bit, but there's still more growth to realize, I think. I've been working as Economic Development Coordinator for the past 4 years for the county, and I report to a Job Development Authority board. And they've really, for the past few years, have been trying to focus on the housing issue and what we can do to get more housing happening in our community, just because that's one of the biggest impediments to growth is people that are moving here aren't finding enough housing. And so we're trying to figure out creative ways to make that happen.
What exactly is the JDA subsidy program? What's its purpose?
So the purpose of the JDA housing development subsidy is to get more supply of single family quality housing into the McKenzie County area. So how it's set up is that the builder will apply for this program kind of when they apply for a permit, and as long as they build to certain specifications, it has to be a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage, 2-bath on a certain size lot, not too big, small. We will subsidize up to $50,000 for a house built with full infrastructure, or up to $25,000 for a house. And the funding happens at closing. So we're trying to be as protective as we can of the dollars until the actual house has been built and there is a buyer for it, so that we're not spending money on houses that don't get lived in or things like that. We want to make sure that we're actually getting more bang for the buck by doing it this way.
Oh, okay, great.
Daniel, how does a buyer qualify for that $50,000 subsidy?
So when a builder, so it's really the builder that will be seeking to get qualified for it, because when they're applying for the permit, they can apply for this program at that same time. And then we will make a determination based on what they say that they're going to build. Qualify that project for the program. And if we do, then we are going to set aside that money. We have a limited allocation as to how much money we can do for this. So if at the time the builder applies, we'll say yes or no. If we say yes, we're going to set aside the max amount that we can give out, $50,000 or $25,000, and then they make that go from there.
Awesome. Can you share with us, what does that $50,000 include, or what can it be used for, and how exactly does that work?
So at closing is when that is when the funding would happen. And so the idea is that we're basing this off of the FHA max amount for McKenzie, which this year is in the $331,000 range. And so in order to maximize the full $50,000, the house would have to sell for $50,000 above the FHA amount. And you can still qualify. I mean, if the house sells for $350,000, we'd give the difference between the FHA amount and the sale price up to $50,000.
Oh, okay.
And then we write the check to the title company, and then the buyer has that much less that they have to come up with. So the builder gets paid for their full house, and the buyer doesn't have to come up with as much money this way.
Dana, can you speak a little bit more about any limitations there are for buyers? For example, we quite frequently get the question, if they can take $50,000, buy some land in the county and put a manufactured home on it. So can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the limitations of the program?
Sure, exactly. Yep, so this has to go into one of the 3 cities of McKenzie County: Alexander, Arnegard, or Watford City, or an approved subdivision. And within the subdivisions that are approved, it cannot be a lot larger than 2 acres. But those are, their goal is to get as much housing and bang for the buck out of the dollars. And so by having it within those lots or those established subdivisions already, it's going to prevent somebody from, just bringing a manufactured house and plopping it on a 40-acre lot or something,
Right.
and doing things that way. Obviously, there's people that live on places like that, but it just doesn't fit for the program that we're.
Great.
Daniel, there's another question we get asked kind of a lot. It happens to be more in lines of what happens to the buyer program if they get the 50,000 and for whatever reason, personally, they have to leave the area before the 5-year grant forgiveness program period is up. How does the 50,000 get treated? Let's say that the home doesn't have the equity to pay that back. We've lost market value, or they don't have the money in savings to pay the 50,000 back. Could you kind of describe how that money is treated or how the county treats that money in that case?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess set up a 5-year. We want these houses to be owner occupied, and so we don't want investors purchasing these houses. We want people that are going to be owning them. And so we are requiring that these houses be owner occupied and then that the owners live in it for 5 years. If the owner isn't able to live in it for 5 years or wants to move for whatever reason, if they are selling it, so if they put in $331,000 of their own money, we put in $50,000 of our money, and they sell it for less than $331,000, we're not going to ask for any of that money back. But if the market goes down, things like that. If they sell it within 5 years and are going to be getting more money, more than $331,000 out of what they put into it, we're going to ask for that difference back. So if they sell it within the 5 years for $381,000, we put in the $50,000. We're going to ask for that back minus some. We'll be able to take out the transaction fees and different things like that. So it wouldn't be the full $50,000. But the idea is just we don't want people flipping these houses and making money off of our program. Did that explain it, or is there more?
It's one of those complicated questions. That's how we struggle to explain it every time. But if they sell it for $391,000, discounting the fees and all that, they would get their $331,000. The county would get their $50,000, and they would get the additional $10,000.
Exactly.
Roughly speaking.
Yep.
Sure. Great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It sounds like it's a great program. My understanding, it's been pretty successful. How many families have you guys helped get into homes, and how many of these homes are left, or how long is this program going to go for?
Okay, so we have 19 houses that have been accepted into the program, and I think about 9 or 10 of them have closed. And so we've got 9 or 10 that have actually owner occupied in it. The other houses are still being built and program. We've got another application that we'll be considering tomorrow. So if we get that, that'll be 20. We have right now $1,050,000 left in the program. And so that can get us another between 20 and 40 houses, just depending upon the max amount. If everybody uses the max amount, that's 20 more houses. If people use the 25,000, that would be another 40 houses. So yeah, there's still room in the program.
Great.
Anecdotally, it's been a fantastic program. You can't tell me, how many teachers and locals have used the program, and people moved from out of the area that have decided to settle in McKenzie County and Watford City specifically. So
that's good to hear. Because it's hard when government gets involved in the markets, because I don't think that's any of the intention of the JDA. Any of the members, they don't like the idea of it, except for the fact that sometimes if we just sit by and don't do anything and no houses get built, it just kind of keeps our community kind of stuck. And we're hoping that by doing this, we get a little bit more action, some more families can move into our community, and then maybe that gets other builders excited and say, oh yes, there is growth happening, and kind of growth generally begets growth. And so hopefully we can just do this for a little bit. I don't think we want to do this for forever, but just as we're in this interesting state of a housing shortage, we're going to try to do what we can to stimulate the economy.
Great. Daniel, where can our viewers find out more information? So we covered a lot, but we didn't get to everything. So if I'm interested in it, where could I find out more?
Yes, so we have a website, and I don't know if we can put that in the chat or something, but if you just go to the econdev.mckenzie.county.net, the housing tab, and then you hit the housing development subsidy, you can get there that way. Or I'd just actually ask to talk with one of the local realtors as well, as I think they're all pretty familiar with the program, and they can help figure out, what builders are building and what houses might still be available. Because a lot of these houses are going under contract, sometimes even before they're built. And so it's just a good idea to go talk to the realtors and see what's happening.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for the great information. Thank you to all our viewers for tuning in for Team Talk Thursday with Team Advantage. If you're interested in having an agent talk to you through the buying process, or have a specific question regarding the JDA program, I think any of our buyers agents are more than willing to help, and they've already helped quite a few families. Give us a call at 701-842-6658. DM us or on Instagram or Facebook, and I think we'll just try to put that link in our comment area too when we post the video, so that way you can find information about the JDA program right on their website as well. Join us every Thursday as we share about our community and we talk all things real estate. That's all we have for today.
Excellent.